What up everyone, it's Zach, welcome back, and today we will be discussing the secret origins and powers of Luffy's Devil Fruit. And the reason we're discussing this is because of the new information we got out of the most recent chapter of the One Piece manga, One Piece chapter 1017. So if you're not yet caught up to the manga, check this video out right here. There's no spoilers in there, but this video will have manga spoilers. But now that you've been warned, in 1017, we found out that 12 years ago, Luffy's Devil Fruit was being transported on a world government ship, which means that Shanks and the red-haired pirates stole that devil fruit from the world government. Now, of course, this information has created a bunch of new questions and theories, so in this video, we're gonna break down everything we know about Luffy's devil fruit, and based off of that information, try to figure out why it's so important. What did the world government want from it? Why did Shanks go after it? And does it possibly have some connections to Blackbeard and even God Valley? But before we get to that, the King Pirates crew is now over 35,000 members. If you're new to the crew, make sure to say hi in the comments. And if you're not yet part of the crew, hit that subscribe button and join us on this adventure. Anyways, the first thing we have to do here is break down and gather all the information that we know. And honestly, a lot of this information goes back to chapter 1. 12 years ago, Shanks and the red-haired pirates were stationed at Fuchsia Village where they met Luffy. And on a certain day, the mountain bandits showed up to town, and on that day, Luffy accidentally ate the Gomu Gomu no Mi. And I do think that based off of what we saw, we can confidently say that Luffy accidentally ate it. Because now that we have this new information, some people are saying that Shanks maybe planned to have Luffy eat the devil fruit all along. I think it's pretty clear that while everybody was distracted, Luffy just ate it on his own will. And even the shock reaction from Shanks and the red-haired pirates showed that they didn't plan on Luffy eating it. But yeah, after Luffy eats the devil fruit, everybody is shocked, and Lucky Roo in particular tells Luffy that it was a devil fruit stolen from an enemy ship. And of course, in the most recent chapter, that enemy ship has now been identified as a world government ship. Now, in the official translation, it wasn't exactly clear whether or not who's who was guarding that ship, but I think based off the fact that he got in trouble for the fruit being stolen means that he was involved in one way or another. Another thing to point out is that from the Viver cards, we found out that Lucky Roo was the one to actually steal the devil fruit. Now, I think most likely he did it under the command of Shanks, but I do find it interesting that he was specifically pointed out. Like, was it a solo mission that he went on by himself, or was it because of something that he wanted? I even thought of the possibility that maybe Lucky Roo stole the devil fruit before he joined Shanks, but that's actually not possible because from the Viver cards, we also found out that Lucky Roo was one of Shanks' first crew members. So at the end of the day, we know that Lucky Roo did steal the devil fruit, most likely under Shanks' command. Now, after Lucky Roo tells Luffy about the devil fruit, Shanks freaks out about it as well. And pretty much after that scene, we cut away and we don't see any more reactions from Shanks and the red-haired pirates. The next time they show back up into the story is to save Luffy from the mountain bandits. And of course, that's when Shanks bets his arm on Luffy, gives him the straw hat, and the rest is history. And pretty much that's everything we know about the Gomu Gomu no Mi, but there's still a lot of questions to be answered. The biggest thing a lot of people are wondering is whether or not the Gomu Gomu no Mi is really special, because I would say originally a lot of people really thought it was just a regular devil fruit that Luffy really made special by himself. But now that we got this information about the world government having that devil fruit, it kind of changes things. I've even seen a lot of people upset at the possibility that Luffy's devil fruit is really special, because now with all this mystery surrounding the devil fruit, there's theories linked to maybe it was like Joy Boy's devil fruit, and if it's actually connected to Joy Boy, it could be tied into all these prophecies, which in a way makes Luffy destined to become the main character in the future Pirate King. Now, personally, while I don't think this theory is impossible, I actually don't think Luffy's devil fruit is connected to Joy Boy, because so far, based off of everything that we know, there's still no connection to Joy Boy. Of course, the devil fruit is important because the world government had it and Shanks went after it. Jesus Burgess also showed interest in it, so maybe Blackbeard is connected to it. But as far as a connection to Joy Boy, I don't think there's any strong evidence pointing towards that yet. Because one thing I think it's important to point out is that not a lot of people have recognized Luffy's devil fruit. Somebody like Doflamingo, who knows a lot of secrets about the world government, had no idea about it, which means either the world government were really hiding information on it, or maybe it's just not as important as we think it is. Rayleigh is another person that saw Luffy's powers and didn't really comment on it or react in any way, and this is important in many ways. First off, I think it crosses out the possibility that Roger had this devil fruit, which I think was already pretty unlikely considering we did see Roger fight in action using a sword, so I don't think it would have made any sense for him to be the previous owner of the Gomu Gomu no Mi. The other important thing about Rayleigh is that he knows a lot of information about the true history and the ancient weapons and everything regarding that. So if Luffy's devil fruit was really connected to Joy Boy, I feel like Rayleigh would know about that. Now, of course, it's possible that Rayleigh just didn't reveal any information because Luffy didn't want to know about it, but I think the fact that Rayleigh didn't have any reaction or comment at all on Luffy's devil devil fruits makes it more likely that it's not actually connected to Joy Boy. And finally, the last person we have to consider is Kaido, who also didn't know anything about Luffy's devil fruits. And this is important because Kaido supposedly knows about Joy Boy as well. And as we've seen so far, he knows nothing about Luffy's devil fruit. He even mocked it just a few chapters ago. So based off of all that information and the fact that pretty much no one knows about Luffy's devil fruits, I don't think Luffy's devil fruit is that important, like being Joy Boy's devil fruit or like the strongest devil fruit ever or something like that. But Luffy's devil fruit is still important, so we have to look at the other motivations. Let's start with the world government, who actually had Luffy's devil fruit. They had it guarded on a ship, most likely by Who's Who. Now the first thing we really have to point out is the fact that it was actually on a ship being transported, which means they were moving it to somewhere else or they just got their hands on it. Now obviously, as far as motivations go, we do know the world government collects strong devil fruits. Previously, the Marines were involved in trying to get their hands on the Ape Ape no Mi, and they were prepared to buy that devil fruit for 5 billion berries. Now one interesting thing people have pointed out is that in Romance Dawn version 2, Luffy's devil fruit was also worth 5 billion berries. Now of course that version of Romance Dawn is not part of the canon story, but it could be a way to look at how Oda valued that devil fruit. So I think for the world government, the Gomu Gomu no Mi was definitely a strong devil fruit that they valued. The bigger question I'm wondering is what exactly were they planning to do with it? Because although they had Who's Who guarding the ship, I feel like if it was really valuable, they would have had more people, like maybe even warlords or an admiral. So once again, that makes me believe it's not like something connected to ancient history and Joy Boy, but it's more likely just a strong devil fruit that they wanted or had possession of before. Some people are also emphasizing the fact that they sent Who's Who to prison just for failing to defend this devil fruit, but I also don't think it's that crazy or out of line because the same thing kind of happened to Rob Lucci and the rest of the CP9. After the CP9 failed their mission at Enies Lobby, they were wanted fugitives. Eventually, Rob Lucci figures something out with Spandam to get himself into the CP0, but immediately after Enies Lobby, they were wanted by the world government and probably would have been sent to prison. So Who's Who being sent to prison for failing a mission, I don't think it's that out of line. So right now, my best guess is that the Gomu Gomu no Mi was just a strong devil fruit that the government wanted. Either to give somebody strong in like CP0 or the Marines, or maybe even just for Vegapunk to study it to create other powerful things. But besides the world government, we also have to look at why Shanks went after the devil fruit. One possibility a lot of people are still bringing up is the fact that Shanks might be evil and working for the world government. Personally, I think based off of everything we've seen from Shanks, that's just not gonna be true. I also don't think Shanks went after the devil fruit to use it himself or give it to a crew member, especially because back in chapter 1, Shanks specifically said that he values being able to swim. So I think based off of that, Shanks isn't gonna eat a devil fruit, and most likely the rest of his crew doesn't have any devil fruit users either. So when it comes down to it, I think Shanks' motivations for getting the devil fruit comes down to two reasons that might be connected with each other. And those two reasons are to have it as a keepsake and also to keep it out of dangerous people's hands. And actually those reasons were really why Luffy wanted Ace's devil fruit in Dressrosa. One, to keep it as something to remember Ace by, and also to make sure it doesn't get into the hands of like a Jesus Burgess. So for Shanks, the Gomu Gomu no Mi might have had a similar meaning to him. Maybe his previous user was somebody close to Shanks that he knew. Now of course the first people we're gonna think of are the Roger Pirates, but like I mentioned earlier, if it was related to the Roger Pirates, Rayleigh probably should have reacted. So if the devil fruit was owned by somebody else Shanks knew, we probably haven't met that person yet in the story. This idea also kind of ties in with Shanks betting his arm on Luffy, because maybe this devil fruit was really meaningful to him, and after Luffy ate it, it gave him another reason to believe in him. So that's why he decides to bet his arm on Luffy and really motivate Luffy and show him what it means to become a pirate. I think that's definitely a possibility, but I also think it's possible that Shanks got the fruit to make sure it didn't get into the wrong people's hands, because as we've seen with Shanks, he's kind of a mediator. He likes to keep the peace in the world, and there is a possibility maybe there was a third party involved in going after the Gomu Gomu no Mi. And I think the only other person that could have been involved is Blackbeard. First off, we know Shanks and Blackbeard do have history with each other. At some point, Blackbeard gave Shanks those 3 scars on his eye, and maybe that had to do with the Gomu Gomu no Mi. When Shanks is introduced in chapter 1, he does already have those 3 scars, meaning he already fought Blackbeard. So honestly, I could see a scenario where Blackbeard is actually going after the Gomu Gomu no Mi. Shanks goes to stop him, they fight, he gets the scar, meanwhile Lucky Roo goes and actually gets the fruit. I definitely think that's one way it could all tie together, especially with Blackbeard's interest in devil fruits. As I mentioned earlier, Jesus Burgess was pretty much one of the only person to actually showcase interest in the devil fruits, and if Luffy's devil fruit is actually connected to Blackbeard, I think it's all gonna be connected back to God Valley in some way. Now of course, God Valley is another mystery that has a whole bunch of other things tied to it, so I'm not gonna get into it too much, but a while back I did make a theory video that God Valley might have been a place that the world government was growing devil fruits, because we do know that Kaido got his devil fruit from that incident. And also I find it very interesting that somehow Whitebeard, one of the strongest people, got his hands on one of the strongest devil fruits in the world. So honestly, right now my best guess is that the Gomu Gomu no Mi is most likely related to Blackbeard and God Valley and Rocksteady Zebek, but unfortunately that whole situation is just too much of a mystery for us to really figure out what it is. That's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Got another video for you right here to check out, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.